Yo, welcome to Hot Takes with Chedda Chaz, but there's no hand holding. We do it fast, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you haven't already. Shout out to Miller Lite, DraftKings, and Topo Chico. You guys should support them because they support us. Shit getting real. Shit getting real. Pelicans got stumped out again. In two games that kind of mimic one another to a certain degree, whereas I feel like both of these games were lost in the third quarter. I feel like the end of the third quarter versus the Bulls, it just when you had that chance to kind of build a little bit of separation, you let them mount the comeback. Couldn't get Zion subbed into the game. You know, Willie Green, he take his timeouts and his challenges home. He put them in the freezer. It's just weird. It's weird game management, weird recognition of the situation at hand. This is really strange. Brandon had 9 assists. Zion couldn't really, figure out how to get around Caruso. Trey, he had 10 rebounds. Shooting, I think he shot 3 for 9 from beyond the arc. That's a bit encouraging, but overall he went 3 for 11. Got to be better, but the 10 rebounds is really impressive. Herb was incredible, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. Finally saw Matt Ryan, aka the conductor, aka Matty Ice. Finally saw him get back onto the court, do his thing. Hawkins had an okay game, but the Pelicans are really missing CJ right now because they don't have another self-creator on the floor. For as good as Hawkins and Trey and Matt Ryan are from beyond the arc, those guys aren't really known for putting, the ball on the floor and getting to the cup, getting into the teeth of the defense, being able to create contact and get to the free throw line. So you sorely see that missed when CJ's out of the lineup. I don't know what the fuck Willie Green doing by him keep benching JV and playing through Larry. Larry's been really bad, bro. Larry been really, really bad. Larry had about 4 good games this season. About 4. You know what I'm saying? He came back from injury. He had a couple good games, and then he went back out with the ankle. I don't know how much that is still bothering him, but, it's kind of like it's always something. You know what I'm saying? That Larry Nance and JRE lineup, that's not – look, Larry Nance and JRE aren't the reason you win or lose games. They shouldn't be. Shouldn't be when you got, Zion and Brandon playing. But at the same time, if you Larry Nance, you got more turnovers than rebounds, and you're closing the game at the 5. You know what I'm saying? He had 4 turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, and if maybe 3 rebounds, 2 points. They were clutch free throws at the end of the game. I give him that, but man, there's no reason Larry Nance should be closing, that game against the Bulls. He shouldn't even been closing against the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully, I don't know what Willie Green got going on, but Willie Green has been piss poor. His post games, they piss poor post games. Ain't that some shit? That's what the 3 P's with Willie Green is. Piss poor post games. Oh, Willie Weasel Green. So Willie the Weasel, he just ain't been, he not standing up for his players in the post game. He got no sense of urgency. He keep giving all these other fucking teams credit. Why don't you give your guys some credit for going out there and competing? And like these players, they work too hard to let the officiating affect the game as much as it does. You know what I'm saying? Brandon's practicing, Zion's practicing. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they getting hit. It's JV. You know what I'm saying? They getting banged up in the post, and it's like, you're not going to bat for them. You're not defending them. You're not showing them that you're on their side. You got a person like Zion who he has a history of kind of getting down in the dumps a little bit, and he may have some type of he's a guy who's bothered by outside noise. So one thing you don't want to happen is him to look at his head coach and say, yo, this dude don't support me. Yo, this guy not defending me. So what the fuck does it matter? Nobody on my side anyway. You don't want that to happen. You don't want him to be physically and mentally defeated on the court because he not getting a whistle. There's no reason ever Zion should take less than 2-3 free throws and get like what the fuck? Like he's taking 2 and 3 free throws a game. Like what are we doing here? That's impossible. Like it don't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And he's falling on the floor. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's being knocked to the ground. It's clear as day what's happening here. If you're the coach, you got to go out there and you got to defend your guys, man. You got to lead with a sword sometimes as a general, lead with an AR-15 as a general. You got to be out there. You got to be the person. You know what I'm saying? The quote unquote. I wish I had a better. I'm not gonna say meat shield. Pause. I just said it. You got to be the quote unquote meat shield, so to speak, and taking the bullets for your players because if Willie Green gets tossed from a game, the game goes on. You know what I'm saying? The game goes on. If Zion picks up 2 techs, gets tossed. If Brandon, CJ pick up 2 techs, get tossed. That changes the entire complexion of the game. So that's why Willie Green being the person to do that makes the most sense. I am a person who feel like Zion should defend himself and speak up for himself more but you also got to recognize who you're dealing with. You also got to recognize if you're dealing with a meek mannered person, you know what I'm saying? That's not his thing. And as a coach, you're supposed to be the great equalizer. You're supposed to be the person who compensates for your players' unwillingness to speak out for themselves. I don't expect Zion, or Brandon, or JV to be like Ant Edwards. That's just not who they are. And like, there are certain type of personalities. Ant Edwards is a more outspoken person. I feel like if Zion had the runway, or if he had the support to be more like that, I could see him doing that in theory. But again, it's in theory. I haven't seen it yet. So that means until he shows that he's that type of personality, it's the coach's job to do it. You know what I'm saying? He can only complain to the refs so many times after getting hit during the course of the game, because now he's compromising the defense by not getting back. So expecting him to continue to talk to the referees is asinine. You know, at some point, he gonna have to throw a fucking elbow and knock somebody's head off and get ejected from the game and possibly suspended for one game. But here, then again, where does that get you? Where does that get you? Now he's suspended for one game. You possibly, punting that game. And, well, that's 2 games that's been compromised, because he gets tossed from the game he's in. He gets suspended from the following game. If it's just one game, he gets suspended from the following game. Now, those are 2 games you just lost because of your coaching staff's unwillingness to go to bat for their players, for their marquee guy. And that just shouldn't happen. That just shouldn't happen. And the post games is almost doing a disservice to everybody, because you're saying shit like, well, I want to keep a few dollars in my pocket. Look, it's your money, brother. You know what I'm saying? Ball how you want to ball. It's yours. You made it. Spend it how you spend it. But your bitch ass gonna film me when I finish. But shout out to Social Slam. But yeah, so you gotta what's the point of saying that? Like, how you think that registers in the locker room? Like, he said that. You know what I'm saying? And then the coach typically speaks first. So if he says that, if you're Zion, if you're Brandon, if you're JV, and you gotta follow your coach saying, oh, well, it is what it is, I'm trying to keep some money. Or what he say once before, he's like, we haven't earned the right to get for those calls. It's just silly ass shit. What are you talking about? This dude a 2-time all-star. He's a marquee player in the NBA. Fuck you mean earn the right for those calls? What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? He just Willie Green's so bad, yo. Willie Green is so fucking terrible, man. He's terrible. He's awful. He is awful, bro. And one thing I said this on the last live show, you can't mistake a person being a gentleman. I'm sorry, you can't mistake cowardice for a person just being a gentleman sometimes. Willie Green may be a gentleman. He may be a classy guy. But what he said was cowardly. And by him qualifying it with, oh, I want to keep some money in my pocket, that's what makes it cowardly. Like, that's what makes it cowardly. Like, you didn't have to add that part in. There's a million ways you can articulate yourself without being like, ignorant, or without being over the top. There's many ways to use tact and articulate yourself and get your point across to the NBA and to the officials that you don't like what you're seeing here. And so far, he hasn't done that. And I think it's going to cost them a lot in the long run, because you got a guy with an injury history taking more bumps and bruises than he should have to take. You got a guy in JV who's like playing incredible right now. The only saving grace for JV is that he's not getting a ton of minutes. But you got him. He's another person taking more bumps and bruises than he should have to take. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. What are you here for if you're Willie Green? You don't control the offense. You don't really control the defense. You don't control the rotations. You're not like this masterful leader. You're not like this masterful media personality. What do you do? Like, what do you do? What's your role here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your role here? Because he can't get all the glory when shit goes right, and none of the backlash when things go wrong. It's not, you know what I'm saying? He has had several opportunities to set the tone of a game. Like, if he picks up a tech in the first quarter, first half of that Miami Heat game, maybe Jose and Najee aren't suspended right now. If he picks up a tech in the first half of that Bulls game, maybe they win that game. Maybe Zion doesn't take 2-3 free throws that game. You know what I'm saying? So it has to come from him. David Griffin, he's not the fucking coach. What he gonna run from the suite onto the court and say something? He's fucking vice president of basketball operations. That's not really his role. That's Willie Green's role. If it's not him, one of the assistant coaches has to do it. Casey Hill, Coach JB, because he don't really use JB anyway. JB, Casey Hill, one of them have to do it. One of them that needs to be their designated duty. Like, yo, we're the official irritant. Because worst case scenario, you get tossed and you don't get any calls. So what? You ain't getting the motherfuckers now. What does it matter? You ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Willie Green could do more? Do you think it's more on the players? Dude, like, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? And I think this this brand of physicality that's happening right now before the playoffs, when you got 20 plus games left, it is really, really, really gonna fuck up the Pelicans. Because you look at this schedule, man. This schedule, especially going into March. Me and Justin spoke about this in private a few times, but this shit is real. Like, this shit getting real. You got God damn, this is an ugly ass schedule. You got the Knicks coming up. You got Indiana coming up. You got Indiana again at home. You got Toronto. You got Philly. You got Atlanta. You got Cleveland. You got the Clippers in again, and you got Portland. Like, shit getting rough. And the schedule not doing, y'all no favors as far as rest. And now you're starting to already get injured. Like, CJ got the ankle. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's gonna be laboring a bit. I'm sure Zion pretty fucked up. He been getting beat up pretty bad. Brandon still, he coming back from the flu, so he trying to like get himself together. Man, look, and you're not getting much support from that second unit right now because Jose is out, Najee is out, Trey, he's trying to figure it out. Hawkins still kind of trying to figure it out. You got Matt Ryan playing cool. Larry Nance has been a disaster so far. It's just, man, it's a steep hill to climb, and you don't need the coaching staff contributing to the steepness of that hill. You need the coaching staff kind of mitigating some of those potential disasters. You need the coaching staff kind of like, hold up, let me balance the playing field a little bit, so at least you ain't got to worry about the officials. But let me know what y'all think, man. It's been today's show. I'm Chedda Chaz.